welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to be here with me. I hope y'all are having a fantastic evening. I'm excited that you decided to participate in this lovely event tonight. And I want to set the intention on what I pray that you get out of this experience today. I pray that you walk away with gems, with more information, more purpose and motivation to continue to grow, run, scale, and sell your business. So, for the people who don't know about me, my name is Pinky Cole Hayes. I am the founder and CEO of the world famous Slutty Vegan ATL, and I like to call myself now a subject matter expert. And the reason why I will address myself as such is because I have been through every single level, layer, and challenge in business. Okay, here it is. I built $100 million brand from scratch. Okay, I've raised a total of $33 million for my business. I also was $20 million in debt. And I also had to restructure my business through an out of court proceeding called an assignment for the benefit of creditors. And then I also bought my company back. And then after buying my company back, I filed for bankruptcy. And after filing for bankruptcy, I had to do another reorganization personally. So when I say that I'm a subject matter expert, at this stage in my professional career, I know what it takes to grow and scale a successful business. And I know everything that you do that can have a business crumble in real time. Okay. So I don't know how many entrepreneurs are in here at the early stages. And I also don't know how many entrepreneurs have ever exited companies. But if you fall within that gap, tonight is the class for you. This is just not a seminar for no reason. I believe that there is a calling on my life to be able to support entrepreneurs so that they don't make the same mistakes that I've made, whether it is hiring the wrong people, whether it is securing funding from the right or the wrong people, whether it is not finding systems in your business and having your business work without you in it. But I say all that to say that I have literally been able to touch every single part of what makes a business successful and all of the parts that make a business not successful. So I'm excited tonight. Some people say that they can't hear. If you can hear me, respond in the comments if you can hear me. Okay. All right. You can hear me. So the intention tonight is to hear from one of my friends and somebody who is incredible in business. Her name is Miss Sequoia Blodgett. And let me just brag on Sequoia for a second. Sequoia is a 4-time founder. Okay, she's had one exit. She used to be a journalist over at Black Enterprise. She used to be a music producer, did video, did everything. Sequoia is a rock star, but what Sequoia does really well is she knows about funnels. She knows about systems, and she knows what is required to take your business to the next level. Not to mention that she's also a tech founder yet again. So she's the perfect person to be able to help entrepreneurs like us to be able to understand how to process our business better so that we can run it, scale it, and sell it. Okay, because that is the goal of the exercise. We are not just doing these businesses as hobbies. The art of the exercise is to know how to run it, know how to scale it, and know how to sell it, and then you wash, rinse, and repeat. Okay, so without further ado, I would love to introduce every single person on behalf of the Pinky Effect, which is my new private community, Miss Sequoia Blodgett, who will give us all of the gems on how to run your business, scale it, and sell it. Sequoia.
Thank you, Pinky. That was such a good introduction. I really, really appreciate it. I'm super excited to be here with you guys to break down every single thing that you're going to need in order to create a predictable, repeatable revenue channel, right? So we know that when it comes to revenue, we've got to make sure that we are actually doing things that move the needle forward. And what we don't want to do is, like Pinky said, we don't want to create hobbies. Like, we are in business because we actually want revenue. We want to liquidate the business at some point, hopefully. And if it is your choice to keep the business around, you want it to be able to sustain you. So that is why we are here. So thank you so much, Pinky, for that shout out. I am so excited for you guys tonight. We're going to get into this. We're going to drop so many gems. So if you have distractions around you right now, make sure you are putting your phones on mute. Make sure that you are, locking the kids out the room. Make sure you're telling your husband or your wife you're going to be right back. Whatever you need to do in order to make sure you stay focused. All right. Because that is what this is going to be about. So first and foremost, I have a question for you guys, and drop this in the chat. If you had to completely be unreachable for 30 days tomorrow, what happens to your business? Does your business go away, or does your business sustain? I want to know. Oh, Marquita said it fails. Tanya said dies. Okay. I love it, you guys. Tawana said, oh no. So, somebody said it sustains for 30 days. You're doing good. So good, so good, so good. Okay, so I am here to help you guys. All right. So let's qualify who is this for. So we want to make sure that this is for the people who have a business that are making money, but it falls apart the moment that you step away. Somebody said my sister will take over. That's a good sister. We want to make sure that if you are the bottleneck in your business, you are actually in the right place. Okay. We want to make sure that if you're the person who has been in the business 24/7, you can't turn around without the thing falling apart, because nothing runs without you. You are actually in the right place, because we are here to help you tonight. Okay. If you are somebody who is still pretty early stage, if you're in ideation stage and you haven't started generating revenue yet, this is going to be a little bit later stage, but still stick around, get the gems so you understand how to implement. But just to be clear, we are talking about the people who are stressed out, strapped down, and being held hostage by their business. Okay. And if you're looking for a quick fix or overnight success, this is not the place for you. There's not going to be quick fixes or overnight successes, because we just cannot do that as a business. When you have a business, the idea is it's going to take time for you to test, validate, iterate. And eventually, as you're starting to scale up, that takes time. So you just need to be patient with yourself. But what we will do is reduce that time. We're going to cut that time down. Okay. And if you are satisfied and you are running the business and it depends entirely on you forever, then this is, you're good. Okay. You're good to go. So I'm hearing it. I can't hear. Can you guys hear? Drop a yes in the chat if you can hear. Let me know if you can hear. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Just want to make sure, because I'm singing those again. All right. So if you can't hear, you might want to pop out and pop back in. All right, perfect. So let's get into the details. So like P said, I am a former commercial music video director, former entrepreneur in residence at Draper, a 4 times founder with 1 exit, former journalist at Black Enterprise, VP of innovation and content for Truist Bank. I've done all the things, you guys. I've had like 5 different careers. So you can tell I have been up and down, up and down, up and down. So I am the perfect person for you guys to learn from, because I have literally cycled through several different careers. All right. And who I really love working with, I love founders. I love consumer brands. I love SMB, small, medium businesses who are on their way to that scale up stage. That is a sweet spot for me that I really, really, really love working with. And so I'm going to take you through my journey, though, because I was not the person who had been in business and just knew what to do and just knew exactly how to generate revenue and keep it sustainable and like sell the business. That is not what happened. So I started my career as a commercial music video director, right? So if you look at the first box, that is for a video for K. Michelle when she was signed to Jive Records. So after I left the industry, I said, you know what? I am going to, clap my hands of it. You guys can have it. This has been great. And I'm going to pack it up. I'm going to leave LA and I am going to move to Silicon Valley. And so I did. I left everything. I moved to Silicon Valley and I threw myself headfirst in an entrepreneurship boot camp. And boy, was it tough. All right. So I was in the position that a lot of you guys might be in now, where it literally is you trying to figure out how to build a sustainable business. And at that time, I'm pitching venture capitalists, trying to explain to them how this business is going to be sustainable, right? And so I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to pronounce the popular accelerators. I didn't know how to think about a cap table or a term sheet or even forget revenue. Like I didn't have any of this insight, right? Like I just didn't know. But the one thing that I did have was hustle. I had hustle, I had grit, I had grind, right? And so what I did was I put that all into perspective and I said, I am going to hustle and I'm going to make this work for me. And what I did was I learned in 7 weeks exactly what I needed to know in order to build a business, right? Now, I still had some roadblocks, some speed bumps because I was very, very new, but Tim ended up investing in my company. So he was my first investor. So if you guys don't know anything about Tim Draper, he is literally a dynasty. They're four generation venture capitalists. His great grandfather started venture capital in Silicon Valley. So this is a family who basically created venture capital, who I'm basically trying to get this investment from. And so when he said, okay, I'll invest in the company, I was like, thank God, because I really just did not have any context as to what I was going to do if that company did not start to accelerate. Right. And so eventually I ended up working with him. I was an advisor on a TV show we did called Startup You on ABC, and it was a great time. And so that is literally the arc of my journey. So I know where you guys are right now, and I want to get you guys out of that place. All right. So let me say this. Hollywood taught me content. Tech taught me how to turn that content into revenue. Okay. So that's how I position myself. So now we're going to go through the 6 modules that you absolutely need to be thinking about when it comes to your sales system, your revenue system, your marketing system. Okay. So, first things first, websites. We want our websites not to be traditional websites, we want them to function as a sales system. And we're going to talk about what that means in a second. We want our systems to be able to be ran by our team, not us. Okay. We want to be able to move that to a team. We want our conversion funnels to be able to convert. So if you have people landing on your website, on your platforms, it could be even on your social media, we want that to be able to convert. We want our tech stacks to be fluid. We don't want things all over the place where we got to figure out, okay, what does this do? Why is this here? What's going on? Right? We want it to be fluid and we want it to be streamlined. And we want to understand what buyers look for, right? So as somebody who's invested in companies, who have friends in private equity, who purchase companies, we want to be contextually aware of what are they looking for when they're actually looking at a business to buy. And we want to structure our businesses to sell. Even if you never plan on selling the business should still be structured in a way that you could potentially liquidate that business one day if so you choose to do that. Okay. So before we get into this, I'm going to give you guys a pop quiz because I like a little interaction. So true or false? You need a big team to stop being the bottleneck. True or false? What do you guys think? I'm seeing false. I'm seeing no. I'm seeing false, 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 false. No, 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 no. It sounds across the board like you guys might have the answer, but we'll see. Okay. Next question. Building systems will slow down your revenue right now. What do you guys think? True or false? If you build systems, it will slow down your revenue right now. I'm seeing false. I'm seeing false. I'm seeing false. Great, 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 great. We'll see if that's somebody said yes. Okay, we'll see. We'll see if that's the case. And then lastly, you need to be more organized before any of this will work. Tell me if that's the case for you. If you're like, oh, I need to be more organized, I don't think this is going to work. Okay, I'm seeing true. I'm treating yes, yes, true, 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 true. Okay. Well, guys, let's get the answers to our pop quiz here. All of it's false. All right. You do not need a big team. You need a team. You may need a person. Somebody said, oop. You may need a person, but you do not need a big team. Okay. That is false. We are not at the stage of agentic yet where the agents will do everything, but we can offload a lot of that onto a teammate, right? They don't need a whole staff in order to integrate or implement this stuff. when you are building your systems and it will slow down the revenue right now. Well, the problem is your revenue is slow right now because you're the bottleneck. You're actually in the way. You are actually the reason the revenue is slowing down. Okay. So that is actually very false. You need to be more organized before any of this will work. That is not true. If you guys know me in person, like in my day to day, I am probably one of the most unorganized people that you've ever met. Okay. But because I have implemented my systems and my structure, my process works without me. It doesn't need me to work, right? So all of it's false. So let's jump into it. First, we're going to talk about how to turn your website from a digital business card into a sales system. Now, here's the thing. People think, okay, I need a website. I need all the tabs. I need people to understand exactly what I do. I'm going to explain it on the website in great detail. And if they can't figure that out, I need them to click here, and then they're going to click on the team. And then after they click on the team, then they're going to go over and they're going to see what it is to purchase. And it's like, yeah, that was maybe 2010, right? That was the process about 2010. That's not the process anymore. When somebody lands on your website, you need to qualify that lead as fast as humanly possible. They need to see themselves in your messaging right away. All right. So the goal is when the right person lands, they feel like you built the solution specifically for them. All right. And then you want to convert them. So how do you convert them? You want very, very clear calls to action. All right. So it should be very, very clear as to what you need to do in order to convert them. And that's in your buttons, that's in your messaging. And then lastly, you want to provide social proof. Okay. In that social proof, there is testimonials. You want a frictionless checkout process. So if somebody has to click, you will likely lose them. All right. So you want to make sure that your checkout process is frictionless. All right. So let me give you guys a little testimonial here. So I had a client that I was working with. Her name is Brittany. And when we started working together, she had stuff that was all over the place, right? After we were done, she said, our website is outdated. It's an outdated library and basically trash. Now, that wasn't my words, but okay, maybe it was. Needless to say, we got it together. Okay. So our price point does not match our value. She said, we have over 3,000 leads that we have done nothing with. We need to automate our emails. We need the proper lead magnets. We need to know what we need to be talking about on social media. We need to know what we need to be talking about on LinkedIn because they had, someone said, I saw, hey, Brittany girl. She didn't even know she was an example. So on LinkedIn, her core customer lives there, right? And so she needs to be talking specifically to them over there. She needed to know what tools she needed to use and so much more, right? So she got all of that by doing her strategy session. And so this is what Brittany's site looked like before. Okay. So Brittany, she was trying. She had her site on there and she was like, hey, listen, welcome to 44th and Madison. All right, guys. If you guys landed on this site, would you guys know what to do? Tell me yes in the chat or no. If you landed on the site, would you know what to do? Okay. Now, as somebody said, no, I see no. I see not really. I see no, 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 no. Okay. All right, great. So what we did is we gave Brittany a full strategy and Brittany came back literally today and she changed some things. Okay. So now we know that we want Brittany to plan our events. We want to celebrate while she is doing that. We don't want to do the work. So we plan, you celebrate, right? Super, super cool. Somebody said that is a level up, Brittany. Okay. You click the button, you say, plan my event. Somebody said, much better. Exactly. We want clarity. Somebody said 5 stars. They are rooting for you, Brittany. They're rooting for you in the chat. Okay. So we want to make sure that you have a site that converts. All right. So we're going to move off of that. Now, build systems your team can run without you. It is so important that you're able to hand off what you have created to your team. And we're going to get into the details of what that means. We want to document, we want to delegate, because if you are the reason, Brittany said, go ahead and follow us. If you are the reason that your team cannot function, that is a bottleneck with the business. All right. So If you are still doing things manual and you have to sit and process things and then delegate and then train and then sell, that is time being wasted that your team could actually be functioning, right? If your team members have to come to you and say, yes, yes, Jalen, SOP, we got it. So if your members have to come to you and ask you questions, that's decision fatigue that you have got to sit and then think about in order for your team to be able to execute. So you don't want to be that bottleneck. You don't want to be the decision maker for every single thing, because it is draining not only you, but it's draining your team because they have to come to you for every single thing. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're putting SOPs in place so that we can be sure that you are documenting the process and that you can then go ahead and give those SOPs to your team so that they can execute. So we want to document it first, hand it over to the team, and so it runs without you. Okay. So that is the goal. Now, most of you are going to leave today and you're going to keep doing everything yourself, which is the problem, right? So, because you haven't decided to do anything yet, you're going to say, okay, I'll just keep doing exactly what I'm doing, and then nothing happens. And that's not ideal, but most of you will do that. So if you are committed to changing your thought process, changing your systems, changing the way that you do things, put a I'm ready to stop being a bottleneck in the chat. Say I am ready. Just put a I'm ready in the chat. I want to see who's ready to actually change today. Who is ready? I see I'm ready. I see I'm ready from Jamita. I see I'm ready from Jai. I see I'm ready from all you guys are ready. Yes. You guys are like, I am done with it. I don't want to do it anymore. I am ready. That is it. Okay. So we're going to jump into module number 3 now. This is the funnel that every business needs to turn visitors into customers. Somebody say, I am past ready, girl. I hear you. Or guy, I hear you on that. Tony said, I am past ready. Okay. So this is a funnel every business needs to turn your visitors into customers. So, what your funnel is actually missing. So, when we think about a funnel, there are so many different variations of funnels. There is a sales funnel, there's a marketing funnel, there's a content funnel, there is literally funnels for funnels. Okay. So, right now, we are specifically talking about your marketing funnel. So, you have awareness, which is top of funnel. And that is what you need in order for people to even understand that you are in the market. Right. And so, once they're aware of you and the traffic hits your site, we want to make sure that nobody leaves. We want to make sure that there is a opt-in of some sort. There could be a lead magnet, whatever it is. When I say lead magnet specifically, I mean something that converts them to a lead. That could be a book a call. That could be here's a 5 whatever plan for your business. You just need something to convert them. Once they convert, you want to be able to nurture them. So what we want to do is we want to bring them value. Okay. People don't want to talk to robots. People want to talk to people where they feel like they are being heard, listened to, understood, and they trust them. All right. So when you send out your nurture sequences, they should sound like you. They should sound like you are in conversation communication with the person, and not like, oh, this feels robotic and static and I don't understand what's going on. It feels very ill. You don't want that, okay? Because trust is built through consistency, not promotion, all right? And then when you present your offer, you want to present that offer with extreme clarity. So when the visitor gets to your site and they are now ready to take action, they're like, yes, like let's do it, right? It needs to be so insanely clear as to what they need to do in order to take action that it converts right away. You do not want them having analysis paralysis, trying to figure out, okay, they want me to do this. What is going on? Because what happens is when that takes shape, they'll go find something else to do. They're like, oh, I just got a text message. Oh, the kids are crying. Oh, let me go. And then the conversion never happens, right? So you want to get very, very, very clear about how you are converting them. Now, we want to look at what a real tech stack looks like for your business at this stage. You guys are at different stages. Some of you guys have been in business for a while and you're scaling up, or you're looking to scale up. Some of you guys are early stage and you just started. Maybe you have generated some revenue and you're still like, okay, I'm trying to figure it out. So let's talk through what a tech stack looks like. All right. So there are various stages to different tech stacks, but for your marketing funnel, remember we're focused on the marketing funnel. There are various stages to the tech stack, specifically to the marketing funnel. So we're going to talk and break down each stage for the marketing funnel. Okay. First, you want to capture. I just talked about that. That's going to be your awareness stage. Okay. Once you get to the awareness stage, you're going to capture that lead in a CRM. What a CRM is. So I don't want to talk over people if you don't understand what that means. So a CRM is specifically for people who want to track every single step of where their customer is in their buyer journey. Okay. So when you have somebody that is captured, you then record their information and you're going to see, okay, do I need to follow up with them? Do they need more information? Depending on what your product is. Sometimes you could have a very quick a transaction if you have, let's say, a product that's like in the food and bev space, right? Then you may not need to track them, but you should still be understanding from a CRM perspective who purchased from you, right? Exactly. Customer relationship management. Thank you, LaShonda. So you should still see who purchased from you, even if it is something that's really, really small, because you want to continue to engage that customer, right? So then you want to nurture them. Like I said, you want to send them emails that are personalized to them so it feels connected. It shouldn't feel like they're talking to somebody who they've never met. It should feel very, very personal. And there are ways to do that. Then you want to convert them. Like I said, it should be very simple for them to check out if they are booking a call with you, if they are purchasing a food or bev or something like in the product e-com space. It should be very, very simple for them to be able to check out. Okay. And then lastly, once you got all those things together, you need operations, you need SOPs, you need project management, so somebody can manage this because you as the founder, you're not going to want to manage this. I trust me, you're not going to want to manage this. So you're going to want to bring somebody in who is doing project management, who can literally go, okay, we need to tweak this. We need to tweak the copy on the nurture sequence. We need to tweak the conversion, right? You want to continuously optimize. You cannot do this once and think it's going to work, because it does not. You're going to see how your customer goes through the buyer journey. And as they're going through the buyer journey, you're going to want to optimize as much as possible, right? Your goal is to get them through the buyer journey as fast as possible. All right. So we're going to jump into another customer, for example, right? When we talk about lead magnets, we were talking about specifically what that looks like. So this is a client I have who is in the AI space. For their lead magnet, what we did was we created an opt-in where the person could get 2 free lessons. Now, they were creatives and, they were trying to attract the filmmaker. And essentially, thank you for that, Trayvon, standard operating procedure is what SOP is. What they were trying to do was attract the customer and then convert them later to a course that they were selling, right? So these are creatives. They're probably the top, if not some of the top creatives in the AI filmmaking space. And so this is what their landing page looked like when it initially got pushed out, right? If you were an AI filmmaker, would this attract you? Just yes or no? And tell me why. Nope, 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 nope. I see all kind of no's. Okay. Tell me why not? Yes, it is plain. It is not dynamic. I don't see it's basic. It's bland. Look at the words. Yes, guys. We clearly have some creatives in the chat because y'all are really describing what is happening here. So yeah, it is generic, right? And so what we did was we gave it some razzle dazzle. Okay. So we came back. Carmela said it's a tough room. We came back and we said, let's get it. We have to speak to the filmmaker. We have to speak to the AI creative. And so we made it more visually stunning. Yes, you razzle dazzle, right? And then we hit them at the top with, hey, don't let AI take your job. Because what was the biggest fear that was happening with AI creatives? They felt like AI was coming into the market to take their jobs. So we hit them very clearly over the head with, this ain't that. We're going to make sure you are equipped so that AI cannot take your job. Yes, Leif says it actually looks creative now. Thank you, Leif. So we want to make sure that we are crystal clear again when the people are landing on our sites that we're going to be able to capture them, give them a lead magnet. So right now, what you can do is you can sign up. They're going to give you 2 free lessons, and then that will be their lead magnet where they indoctrinate them. They give them a lot of value. And then eventually, if the person feels like there is enough value there, then they'll be able to purchase. So let me just give you guys some foresight of what happened here. Before, when we had the initial landing page, the bland landing page, the one that was not, it was as you guys said, nothing happened, right? When we converted it over, we started to shop it with bigger enterprises, and now Google is actually purchasing a licensing deal for the course. So you just never ever know what is going to happen when you get crystal clear on your side, because a confused buyer never purchases. People purchase out of clarity. Okay. So we want to make sure that we are super, super, super clear. All right. So now we're going to move into what buyers actually look for and how to start building for it now. Okay. Not when you're thinking about liquidating the business, not 2, 3, 4 years from now, right now. Because if you build it right the first time, you don't have to fix it later, right? Like Piggy says, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. All right. So we're going to go into what this looks like. So there are 4 things that every buyer is actually buying. And this is so important. Okay. So first things first, buyers are buying transferable revenue. Now, what does that mean? A lot of you guys have personal brands. All right. And so you've used your personal brands in order to leverage the business, which is fine, especially in the beginning when you have founder led brands. What you want to do eventually is take yourself out of the picture so that the brand sustains on its own, right? So currently Pinky she has franchises going out, right? The reason why the people are able to purchase a franchise and be able to sustain the franchise is because she is disattached to the brand. Will they show up if she does a pop-up? 1,000%. But does the brand stand on its own? Absolutely. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that the brand is sustaining and standing on its own. Okay. So the other thing we want is documented operations. A buyer is buying a business, not a job for themselves. They do not want to come in and have to fix everything that you did not structurally put together correctly, right? So they want to make sure that it is all that, like I said, all the SOPs are in place. It is a sound business where they don't have to put in a whole operating team. They can literally say, hey, this is already structured correctly. Let's go ahead and roll this up, especially if they are in private equity. Let's roll this up into a group of businesses that look just like these, and let's sell it at a larger number, right? So there's reasons and seasons and whys people purchase, but one of them for sure is they are not purchasing for a job, okay? So then you want clean financials, okay? This is so important. You have to have your financials together. Specifically, gap financing. I'm not going to get into the details of that because that is not this class. But when you start to get your financials in order, yes, Jamita says financials are so important. You cannot get funding without them. That is 1,000% true. Teresa says, I need a new accountant. Girl, I hear you. Okay. So you want to make sure your financials are super crystal clear. You want clear P&L so people know exactly where your profit and loss is. This is a non-negotiable. If ever you have tried to raise capital, even if you try to get a bank loan, I kind of see bank loans and venture capital as one and the same at this point. Like they really want the same exact things. They want to understand very, very clearly what your financials are and the projections on the business to see if the business is actually sustainable. Okay. So it's not going to be a fun process, but you got to do it. That's just a non-negotiable. And then the growth trajectory of the business. So really understanding exactly where the business is going, right? You want to be very, very clear about that. It's not where you are today. People are not purchasing where the business is today. They're purchasing where the business is in the future. Yes, Rebecca says clean books and records, 1,000%. Thank you, Jamita, for the gap definition. All right. So that is what you need to get very, very clear about if you ever plan on selling the business. Okay. We want your data clean, your systems are clean, and your clients are all their needs are pointed in the same direction. All right. We can't have you all over the place. It just does not work. All right. So last thing we're going to jump into is how to structure your business so a buyer actually wants it. Okay. Again, we cannot have the revenue tied to you. You can't be the asset. No, you cannot be the asset. you having the revenue tied to you is actually a liability, and it messes with your revenue multiples. So you want to detach the revenue from your name so that it sustains itself as a standalone brand, and you're able to create offers for the business that the business owns, right? So if I move out the way, the business, it's very clear that this is the business's offer. This has nothing to do with Sequoia, the brand, right? So make sure that you have sustainable offers that can sit on their own. You need to build a management layer. What does that mean? You need a chief operating officer or somebody that is in between you and the business. You need somebody who fully can see every insight of the business, because should you decide that you're going to move out of the business, somebody needs to be able to continue to operate that business. Or should you get ousted out the business if you decide to raise venture capital, because it happens, or should you get replaced as CEO, or should you decide, I don't want to do the thing anymore? Like, I'm good, right? You need somebody and your systems and your structures together. So literally you can just move out the way, right? And what makes the business more valuable is having those things in place. So your intellectual properties, you want frameworks, you want your curricula, you want your SOPs, you want your head. Yes, Rebecca, she said the corporate and IP lawyer. Yes, because Rebecca is the corporate and IP lawyer. So hit her up if you need a lawyer. So you want all the things in place. So it is not in your head, but it is actually out in the ecosystem. Okay. So those are the things that we really, really need to be thinking through as we are building our businesses. Now, let me be honest with you. Okay. Could you take away everything I walked you through and implement it on your own tomorrow? I'm going to say probably not, because you are already too busy. You are already overwhelmed. You are already, Tasha said no. You are already doing all the things, right? Because you are stressed out. So that is why I build something for you. Okay. So this is what we can do to help you. There's two different ways we can help. We can do the full implementation, which is literally coming in, looking through all of your stuff and saying, hey, switch this, fix this, change that, do the funnel like this. Here's your conversion engine, right? And we're going to do it for you. You don't even have to touch anything. You're literally going to be hands off, and we're going to work together and implement everything for you. And then when you're done, you're going to have a command center where you can literally see everything exactly how it needs to be. Brittany said it is worth every penny. Thank you, girl. Yes, we do nonprofits, Mev. So we're going to structure all of this for you so you don't have to worry about doing it yourself. Now, let's just say you got a team, you're like, we're good, and I just need a strategy. All right. I just need to literally see everything, understand what needs to happen, and we can implement it ourselves. So, with that first offer, the implementation, it's going to be 1 month of us doing implementation and then 2 months of tweaking. Like I said, nothing pops up and just does its thing by itself. So, if you're like, hey, I'm ready to do it myself, cool. We can do a strategy session. We can go through everything, break everything up for you, give you the 90-day plan that you can literally do yourself. And then you will be able to see your progress in what we call a star audit. So in the beginning, you'll see everything as it is today. And then as you continue to accelerate and move forward, you can see your growth in the business and how all of your systems are being put together and structured. Okay. And then, of course, you're going to have that framework. Kim says, does the type of business matter for the implementation? So what you'll do, you'll see the offer in a second. You're going to book a call, and then you'll be able to see, thank you, Leigh, for dropping that in. You'll be able to see exactly if we are fit for you. But you can also drop it in the chat too, and I can answer the questions. So the goal for the blueprint is to give you a prioritized plan so you know exactly what to do and your team can execute for you. All right. So traditionally, this is going to cost, you got a brand strategist, is somewhere between $4,000 and $7,000, depending on who you have. You have a systems consultant that could be from $3,000 to $6,000, again, depending on who you have. Your tech systems and funnel build. I have an interesting story about this, but literally it can get up to $20,000. And then content team, of course, somebody write all the copy, make sure everything's structured. That could be anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000. So that ranges you anywhere from $18,000 to $36,000, right? Because you need to put all the stuff in place. However, we're not going to charge you that. We're the fan of the SMB, right? The small, medium business owner, the founder who knows very specifically, this is a lot, right? So that's not where we're going to charge you, but we are going to put the offer up so you can actually see what that looks like. And I am also going to tell you this right now. When you book your call, you have a deposit. If it is not a fit, we will refund you. So you do not need to worry about that, right? I see the questions asking, okay, well, do you work with this type of business? What about this? If it's not a fit, we will refund you and you will go about your business. Okay. So the bonus is that we will stick around and we will make sure that you land your first client with the system that we build, and we will give you another strategy session if you do not. Okay, we're going to make sure that you're going to land your customers, your clients. We're not in here just to be in here, right? We're here to make sure that you are successful in this. All right. And so the other thing for entrepreneurs is they need support, right? They need community. And that's where Pinky comes in. Pinky has created this beautiful community where she will do live coaching calls with you. You'll get on the call with her. This is literally some of the information that happens in the community. There's different experts that'll come in. They will talk about finances, marketing, sales. We just had somebody yesterday who talked about fundraising, operations, right? We'll do monthly challenges where you have health and wellness challenges where you can see very specifically how you're progressing on the health and wellness side. And then we have these quarterly do nothing trips that are just so much fun. We went to Trinidad like 2 weeks ago and it was incredible, right? So you have all of this good support that you can have as a founder. And I just dropped the offer. Leif also has a link in the chat too if you guys want to apply. And what we're going to do in a second is we're going to open this up to questions. But before we do that, I want to just give you guys some quick testimonials about the Pinky Effect and the members who are in here. So we have Rachel, and I'm going to make this bigger so you guys can actually see it and not me at this moment because this is super important for you guys to see. So after being in the community, I move differently. I am more confident in how I show up and how I speak about my business. We have Jennifer who says, now I don't see business as something I'm trying to figure out. I see it as something powerful. I move with more intention. Heidi said, I'm so glad I joined from the chat. Yes, Heidi. Shaniqua says, since joining, I have clarity, I have confidence, and I have a network that is helping the tiny steps grow. Somebody asked about nonprofits. Shaniqua has a nonprofit. Demita says, more than anything, I've shifted internally. I'm more focused, more confident, and more committed to pouring into myself than ever before. We have Kirby who says the Pinky Effect has poured into me in so many ways I haven't experienced anywhere else. She is truly invested in seeing us grow. And I can attest to that too. At that level of support and helping me step into my full alignment and scale my business to a 10x capacity, right? Somebody said, I am from Trinidad. Yes, girl. We have Portia who says, I'm inspired not just by Pinky's success, but her boldness, her transparency, and her willingness to reach back and pull others forward. That is rare and that is powerful. Okay. And lastly, we've got Kwavi who says, the way she works is inspiring and to watch and listen to. Everyone in the group is so generous and genuinely invested in each other's success. And I can also attest to that. All right. So you're probably thinking, I ain't got time for this right now. I am just too busy. Well, that is the problem in itself, right? We got to make sure that you specifically are not too busy. We got to get this off of you so that you are able to then functionally run the business so the business can succeed, right? If you're like, I've tried working with coaches before and it just did not stick and I have a fear of coaches, all I got to say is they wasn't us. That's it. That's what I got for that. And if you say, I didn't think about it, I'm not sure I'm ready. Well, thinking is actually costing you in revenue. Okay. Brittany says, get in the room. Yes. Pinky is a marketing genius, says Kwavi. So we want to make sure that you are in the room. And like Brittany said, you got to be in the room, right? So for the first 10 applicants who submit today, we are going to push the top of the stack. You're going to see your decision instantly, right? Pinky does not just accept anybody in this group. It's very, very important that this group is curated and so you make sure that it's the right people. So that's why you have to submit an application. And of course, I can't just be working with anybody because if it don't work, it don't work. For the webinar bonus, you're going to have a special offer from the Pinky Effect membership that you'll see once you fill out the application. And then, of course, you are going to see a rate lock. So you're not going to see the fluctuation of the rate that will happen because yesterday's price is not today's price. Let's be clear. All right. So before we wrap this up, we're going to answer any of your questions. So there is a question. I see a couple questions, but you also can drop them in the chat and we'll answer any questions. I am going to bring Pinky back up so that we can answer your questions together. Hi, Pinky.
Hello. I'm over
So
here writing notes. That was good.
look, you look just like that photo right now. Come on,
Okay.
B-Face.
I don't look like what I've been through. Okay.
So if you guys have questions, we are going to sit and answer your questions right now. But if you see the offer link, go ahead and click apply so we can get started over there. And let's see. The first question is says, will the webinar be recorded and shared? The answer to that is yes. Somebody said, we love Pinky. Them upvotes is coming in for you, girl.
Hey guys.
Kwame says Sequoia is fantastic at implementation and she is invested in your success. I am very invested in your success. Let us know if you guys have any questions. The link is there in the chat for you guys to apply. Pinky, any last words before we wrap this up while we're waiting on questions to come in?
Well, first of all, I commend you for doing this. This was incredible. I think that a lot of us entrepreneurs who are super creative oftentimes don't have the proper systems to be able to convert customers. And you know how to do that very, very well, just by this whole process of the webinar. So like you have a gift. And when I tell you this offline, but you have a really good gift where you know how to gel things together. So for the entrepreneurs who, you know, have that creative, like I'm a full-time creative. Operations is not my thing, but I understand that you have to have operations and that you have to have systems in order for your company to grow. So I find those people to do the things that it is that I cannot do. So I'm excited about Sequoia and all that she's doing. Like she's touched a lot of people who I've connected with and done great things for their business. And if you're just looking for a community to be a part of, and we do more of this, right? So like every week having different people to teach different things, because that's what really separates the people from being good versus being great. Like always learning, always listening to knowledge, always getting new information, and just really staying ahead of the curve. Okay, speed breeds success, and that's speed in information, speed in research, speed in new technology. So if you have that level of speed by way of resources and connectivity, you will always be successful in your business. Always, 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 always. So did we have any more questions?
Yeah, we do. So questions are coming in right now. So let me go through them. Libby says, I didn't see the price. How much are both options? You'll see the price once you fill out the application, and it will pull you to where you need to go specifically for your budget. So that's what we do. We price it with your budget so you guys are able to afford it. Okay. It says, I am a new author looking to expand my brand. How can I grow from the Pinky Effect?
Okay, great question. So you are a new author. When you come to the Pinky Effect is the space where I give you creative marketing ideas to take your brand to the next level. So in real time, I give you a real strategy on how to take that book or that thing that you're putting together, and you have a whole blueprint in real time on how to take it. Yes, 1 second. It's better. And you know what makes it even better? If you're a parent, okay? Because I can give you a whole full strategy, whether you're a mom, whether you're a parent, and trying to build real time. But the ideas that I give you are not fluff. It's real time ideas. If anybody knows anything about me, I am a marketing machine.
Yes.
I could do that with my eyes closed. So if you don't get anything else, you'll get some ideas. It's up to you to execute those ideas.
Absolutely. Okay. I see Trevor says, I've been dropped from this webinar. I missed so much. Will you send the offer by email? Yes, we will send the offer again by email. Okay. So, and the replay in case you missed anything. So do not worry about that. Gaynell says, for us just getting started, when should we reconnect when we meet the room requirements? So Pinky has very specific requirements for her community. So if just getting started means you've been in business for at least 6 months and you've generated some revenue, then you do qualify for the Pinky Effect. For me, let's jump on a call and figure that out. It says, would love the meet and greet, have 2 salon suites, want to franchise. Okay. Pinky Effect sounds like that would be a good place for you. And we could talk about your implementation. Kwame said,
how much? The whole blueprint for that. Yep.
Kwame says, how much are the offers? Again, it's going to be depending on your budget. So we work with your budget. So go ahead and fill out that application and it will show you which offer makes sense for your budget. Rebecca says, do you work with existing CRMs or you build your own through AI? No. So we do work with existing CRMs. We do not use AI to build your CRM. We essentially use all hooks and automation to connect your CRM, but we can talk more about that, Rebecca. Demita says this is Demita. Hey, Demita. I know, girl. Hey, she said, yes, we do a lot of this. Demita is giving you a testimonial right now. The Pinky Effect has changed my life. Kwabi says she's amazing at doing this. She does this on the fly. Yes, she does. Todd says, super excited. I'm the first time Black tech founder raising my friends and family around. My team is amazing. Former CEO. What's the best way to find angels and investors? That's a question. LinkedIn. That is the best way to find angels and investors.
LinkedIn, very good.
Yep.
LinkedIn, and you need to find all the summits in your industry. So like all the trade shows, you need to go to all of them. Every single trade show that's connected to the industry that you're in, you need to be there and be shaking hands with every single person that you see.
Absolutely. Nubian says, for those of us who are fundraising, will the Pinky Effect help connect us to investors? No. So Pinky's specialty is specifically creative marketing, but we do have people who will come talk to you about investing. So yesterday we had somebody from a platform called Raisy who essentially will help you get to raise your round, right? So it's not necessarily Pinky's not going to talk to you about investing, but there are people in the community that will. Is that correct, Pinky?
Yep, that is correct. And I've raised $33 million. So I can tell you a thing or two about what you should look for when you raise and what you should run away from when you raise.
Teresa says, I don't see the offer for the blueprint help. Hold on. Click that Calendly link and you're going to fill out the application, Teresa. So if you click 2 comments down from you, you're going to fill out that application and then you will see the offer that is fit for you. Dr. Angel says, this is awesome. Thank you. LaShonda says, thanks, ladies. You are both awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Marcia says, how can we have a quick call with you to determine what I need? Marcia, you will see a follow-up email if you filled out the application and we can set up a call there. If not, I can send you a call link after the fact. LaShawn says, I am literally in the process of opening my second restaurant location with a grand opening in 90 days. Would I benefit at this stage? I'm already deep in the works. Yes, LaShawn, you will definitely benefit from the Pinky Effect 1000%.
Yes, you will.
Yes. And then we can talk about what you need in terms of implementation for your first restaurant. Second restaurant is a little too early. Do you work with service-based businesses or is this more geared toward product-based businesses? All across the board, tech, service, e-com, all the things.
And let me be clear, the Pinky Effect is an ecosystem. So you get access to proximity and really, really good ideation. And think of this as an accountability group with resources and information. So that's what the Pinky Effect is. Okay. So like in real time, you'll be connected with people who are doing things like you, doing things in other industries where y'all have things in common. And it's just a really good driver to keep you motivated as you grow that business. And honorable mention if you have a restaurant, because I'm in the restaurant business. So all of the information and the tools and the expertise that I have, you really kind of get a layup because you have somebody that's doing it in real time.
Elay says 2 new members just joined the school community. Woohoo!
I love that.
Yes. Will you open dates later in May? I'm traveling a lot until mid-May. Yes, I will. Salisa. June, Philly Realtor want to do your Pinky Effect. Have salon suites, want work with you and learn more. Go ahead and submit the application, June. Let's see. I'm trying to keep the count because these things are moving. Rebecca, download LinkedIn app and use it the way you use Instagram. Okay, she's talking about how you get your investors. Yes, that is very true. I live on LinkedIn. Coming to Atlanta for the Bronner Brothers Awards. Kim the Builder says, hammer, 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 hammer. Camilla says, I joined. I'm ready. Y'all help me get my life together. Demita says she knows people and how it's done. Leif just dropped
And
the
and
application. Go
if
ahead.
you join the Pinky Effect now, we actually have a call at 8 o'clock, where you get a piece of what it is that we do, because I go through every single person and talk to them about their business in real time. So you just get a piece of it at 8 o'clock. So you got 6 minutes
You got
before
six
we start
minutes.
our 8 o'clock class.
Exactly. Paula, I'm from Jamaica. Will you work with me? I will definitely work with you. Pinky, do we have any international people?
My father is in Jamaica.
There you go.
That's about it. But we definitely love international folks. We love international businesses.
Shannon
We
says
love, love, love.
local restaurants business struggling to connect with new clients. I think you're good for both of us, Shannon, depending on where your revenue is, but go ahead and apply. Um Quavi says, woohoo. I'm just trying to get the questions. Thank you, Anissa. You're welcome, Kenya. Any more questions, you guys? Let me know if you there's a whole questions. Okay, I'm answering them. Okay, I'm tracking. All right. Where is the link? So it's the apply now link. You'll see it in the chat where it says Leif Taylor. He's dropping the Calendly link for you guys to be able to apply.
Awesome.
All righty.
Okay, we just
Any
had
more
somebody
questions?
else join.
All right. We have one more person in the Pinky Effect. All right. You guys, we are about to wrap up shortly, and you guys can meet Pinky in the Pinky Effect in 5 minutes if you apply and get your application in and submit it. Jamita says, thanks so much. The info is a blessing. Shannon says, I need an SOP. Yes, Shannon, go ahead and apply and we can get you that structured and set up. And you guys definitely look for the follow-up email after the fact, because we will have those links in there too. And you guys can apply that way too, but it's best to do it here so you're in those first 10 people who apply. Cool. I do not see any more questions, and I know Pinky has got to get ready for the Pinky Effect meeting in literally 4 minutes. So I am going to wrap this up by saying you have built something real. Okay. You've built it. Now build it so it runs, it scales, and it sells without you. So, Piggy, any last words before we wrap this up?
No, this was awesome. I really hope that y'all enjoy this. And whether you work with Sequoia or you come over to the Pinky Effect side, either way, you walked away with some gems. And we love that for all of us. So thank you so much. We will see you on the other side. And like Sequoia said, build it so it runs, scales, and absolutely sells without you. Thank you, everybody. You will see some correspondence after this. Good night.
Awesome. Keep building. Bye.
Bye.